All right, so with this Card Shop Life setting up a card store, we're going to talk about singles because, as I mentioned in the other video, I was wrong about it. I wanted nothing to do with singles, and then you decided we were going to have stuff to do with singles, and it turns out they're not the most important sales, but they are significant. They drive a lot. Not only do they have enough sales on their own to make it worthwhile, they also synergize with other stuff and make people want to buy other things as well. So
it's always that singles are always that one. What's that last thing I'm looking for people? It seems to be, after everybody gets what they came for, singles are the thing that keeps them there. And whether it's sometimes good if they just start looking at singles. If they're bored in the store, sometimes people will come with their friends and not even intending on buying anything, and while their friends are picking up stuff, they get looking at the singles, and that draws them in as well. It's good to have singles around for your players too. I guess like when they're bored on Magic nights or when people are waiting for other players to show up, that's a good use of their time is going through singles. We have a lot of people that like to just go through our bulk. You'll probably find that anywhere. People love to go through bulk for just synergizing their own decks. And so singles are pretty awesome. There's a pretty big markup for singles. If whatever you're getting them at, if you're getting like 40 or 60%, there's quite a bit of revenue that comes in from just singles.
So what was the moment you decided you wanted to buy people's singles and sell people's singles?
Well, because sometimes you will get people. I don't know if that's. You will get people that are desperate to sell random singles and stuff. And sometimes, at one point, I just thought I was being nice by buying stuff from somebody that seemed down on their luck or didn't want to deal with what they had. And then once I was doing that, I was like, well, I might as well start to acquire. And then through doing that, I kind of got less nice and more like scrupulous from a business standpoint, like more like profitable.
Yeah, buying for 60 cents on the dollar and selling it.
Yeah, but I did start off as just being as like a generosity thing to keep patrons coming into the store, like people that were into buying sealed product, but they weren't into keeping these collections they had for a long time. Or like some people would come in and be like, I need rent money. And I'm like, oh, all right, well, maybe I can help you out there a little bit with selling stuff. So, I don't know, there is some sort of moral ambiguity, I guess, that comes along with selling singles.
The way you talk about it, it sounds to me more like an ecosystem. Like, it's sort of like, I don't know, it's like the swamp where it cleans the rest of the ecosystem or whatever. So basically, you're filtering out the stuff people don't want and then moving it to other people who do want it, and providing a service, and they want these things and then they want to be able to get rid of these things and get some of their value back, and then we're transferring. We're just kind of, I don't know, it's the circle of card life. I don't know.
So you will get people that if you're selling singles, you will have to just deal with people, I guess, on a customer by customer basis. It's up to your own discretion how much you think you're taking advantage of these people, I guess, that are unaware of the value of their cards, or they just want the cash right away kind of thing. So sometimes you will just deal with that, like, some guys that need some quick cash, but they have a ton of Pokemon, and besides the Pokemon smelling like cigarette smoke, it's all pretty prime condition. You're kind of like, you're just curious where they got it from, but most of the time it's just their own collections. I've never really experienced anybody bringing in like anything stolen or anything, so that's kind of, I'm glad.
Fake, but not necessarily stolen. In fact, that aspect of the store is more like running what's it called, the hawk shop,
like a pawn shop.
Yeah, like it's like a pawn shop, and so like. Especially at first, we didn't really want any of it, so we were less likely to pay as much for it. So I don't really see the problem that, like, the we don't want it, so therefore we'll pay very little for it, and stuff that we do want, we'll pay a lot more for. And so that basically the individuals that come in, they have to understand that if we really want something, we'll pay you top dollar for it. If we don't want something, we're going to pay very little for it, or we're going to reject it outright.
And then, or like, sometimes I have found that you get people that bring in a collection and there's maybe like one or two good things in it. So you just overvalue it for that one time to kind of make them bring in another collection. But then at that point, if it's at that point if they bring in the second thing and it's all duds, then you just, I've experienced customers that that have no real loyalty to the store, and I know them personally, I guess. And then they bring in stuff, a couple good things. I overvalue it just to kind of like keep fishing, because sometimes you want to be taking in collections if it's been dry for a couple weeks or so, and then they bring in another collection and they kind of do expect the same price. So you kind of have to deal with that, with letting them down, that you're not going to give that same price value on things if you don't find the value that you need, right? Sometimes it is worth just like fishing though.
Here's an aspect of it that so the small game store has an advantage over the large game store in this one aspect, in that you're familiar with all of your customers, so you know what people have and what people want. And so you know what you can buy from people and what you can sell to other people, and basically find the home for the thing, basically.
Yeah, sometimes you are just a middleman for a lot of people. You're taking, and then sometimes I'll take in lists for people's commander decks and stuff, and then you just show another customer that list, and
I didn't even know you did that.
yeah, sometimes I'll do that, and like if they want to do the deal outside of me and stuff, and then it just brings loyalty from those customers, right? If you're allowing them to do their own little side trade or side business with cards, which, because you're not gonna. For instance, we had a customer do that back and forth, but then the one customer eventually just quit Magic altogether, and so we got his whole collection in the end anyways. So it didn't matter that they were doing these back trades and stuff. His loyalty to us allowed us to buy his whole collection.
And that goes into another thing, because you're already spending a ton of your time sorting cards and finding cards and selling cards. So getting someone else, having those two guys go off and do their own thing, frees up some of your time to do some of the other important stuff in the store.
Yeah.
So talk about that. So how much of a 40-hour work week, how many hours are you going to spend on sorting cards?
I don't know, I probably do like 2 hours a day minimum sorting cards. And after that it gets pretty, you pray for people to come in and talk to you.
Oh yeah?
And
Even with listening to like podcasts or stuff in the background?
Yeah, sometimes you're just like, I want to break this up. So, like, sometimes it's not every day on a Wednesday or a Tuesday you'll get customers frequently. So those are more of my card sorting days.
Rudy has some card sorting videos, and it's just him talking about the stuff he wants to talk about while he does it. Anyway, but yeah, is there anything else to add with singles and what you need to do when you're starting off?
No, just I would say if you don't have a collection or think you have a good collection, you're gonna have to overvalue, I guess, to try and build that collection, unless you find those people that are just desperate to get rid of their stuff. So once you establish yourself as having a good collection or enough singles that people stop to look at, then you'll find it just kind of snowballs. And as long as you're still taking in stuff, it'll just snowball.
All right, and that's it for singles when you're starting off a card store. So we'll go in the next video. Don't know what it'll be, but you'll find out.